Hi, welcome back to the Daily Hunt. I'm Henry, and as always, today we're going to be covering a broad analysis of the markets. We're going to be covering the S&P, NASDAQ, so the overall stock market, some performance insights into my performance right now with my stocks and what I've been trading. And we're also going to be talking about crypto. Crypto's not doing as well as stocks, so it's very, very important you guys know the zones and the levels if you're trading crypto. But I also think that stocks are fairly risky going into the interest rate decision. So let's get right into it. At the moment, I'm showing you guys the heat map for stocks. So as you can see here, we're seeing some large caps performing really well, with Oracle doing exceptional returns here, 25%, MU 20%, and we're seeing overall other large caps like Tesla performing really well. This is one of my stocks, and I've recently bought some Meta with the hope that we can also get another move here with one of these other larger caps, Meta being the one that I chose in this situation because of the setup. And then, you know, we've got other plays here like Walmart doing well. Energy stocks like XOM is a watch for me. That's because I think oil prices will go up higher. And if you watched the episode yesterday, you would see I mentioned US oil will increase and also natural gas. So we've got two energy plays that we can be potentially playing here. It'll be a natural gas play or a natural gas theme and a US oil theme as well. Health tech's doing pretty well here, but not as well as large caps. So what's really happening is going into the interest rate decision, we're seeing large caps performing well, and maybe we get sector rotation after the event. So that's something that we should watch out for. The sector rotation could be small caps, it could be tech, it could be health tech if we get a sell-off. We just have to be very, very cautious here and watch out. Okay, so with that being said, we can now go into the analysis. Right, so here you have the S&P 500. Yesterday I mentioned that I'm looking for that midpoint as a breakout point, and it's exactly what we're seeing here today. We've seen a bit of a breakout above that point now, and in pre-market, we've just crossed over it. So if this today closes above that point, I think we get further upside potential here. And then the level that I was looking at since December of last year was 6,700, and we could probably get 6,700 to about 6,800 on the S&P. So it's looking pretty good. However, there is that little risk here of a resistance, a sell-off back to this level. So we just have to be cautious. It's looking pretty good on the RSI as well. I think there's plenty of room for this to move up a little bit higher. And usually when we have some bullish momentum, this can go all the way up to around 80 on the one daily. So it's looking okay. I like where the S&P is right now. This is the reason why I've been adding some stocks. And we'll cover what stocks I've been adding shortly. So NASDAQ also performing really well, outperforming the rest of the market because of those large caps I mentioned earlier. The large caps showing real strength here. That's where investors are going into. Tech, AI is a big play at the moment. There's a revival there, and large caps as well. So how do I put this? I think there will be a run with large caps and then rotation into other plays. So whether that run ends this week and then we rotate later on around Thursday, Friday after the interest rate decision, we'll have to find out. But at the moment, it's looking like we will be moving to new highs, as we are, even newer highs on this channel to around to 24,800. So that's the level I'm looking at. The Russell 2000 being flat here as capital's flowing into larger caps like Microsoft and Oracle and so on. We're seeing smaller caps not doing as well. And then for me, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a dip here to around this midpoint on the channel, and then that's where we can get a trigger point or a pivot point to move to higher levels, and then maybe work our way up to above 2.5k. The VIX today is down. Yesterday it was up, so we saw a bit of volatility yesterday, but then we saw a sell-off happening a bit in the morning with some smaller and medium caps, and then we saw the broader market overall move up higher. So yes, volatility is moving up higher, but the market isn't being sold off, and I think that's the reason why that is we are in a situation where the event is volatile, not the market itself. So the event will bring volatility because there'll be a number of investors that will be cautious going into it and uneasy and uncertain, and that will naturally bring some volatility. But the market is moving up higher because of those larger caps and the plays that are happening right now with those AI tech larger caps. In terms of the VIX, I would be worried if we started moving beyond this 15.8 level. I've mentioned it a few times. That is a worry for me. And then what I would like to see is I would like this to move under 15 and then under 14 for really bullish, for really strong bullish momentum in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So that's the markets. That's the stock market analysis overall. What I'm holding and what I'm buying. As you can see here, our portfolio is doing pretty well in my trading community. We have IQ, ENGN, around 52% gains in the last 25 days. And then we have Alibaba, BIDU doing pretty well with 22 to 26% gains. And then we've had some of this Tesla gains here with 16% since we've entered. And we have CCJ, which moved really well yesterday as well. So Tesla and CCJ moved really well. CCJ is a uranium play. And then finally, we have some of the crypto plays and quantum plays here with Rigetti and QBTS. The other ones are newer plays that we've positioned ourselves into with the idea that we can trade these prior to the event, and then hopefully if the market moves above, we can profit from them. These are smaller positions of around 0.5% risk per trade. BBAI is looking very promising. Meta is also looking very promising because of the large cap momentum. And then OPFI is one I like. But then, I like most of them, to be honest. And I like Intel here as well. I think Intel's been consolidating on the weekly, and I think it can do well. Snap as well is looking like it's going to have a nice move higher. And then PPTA was a gold play. So gold is moving a little bit higher here to around 3,600 for the last time I saw. So we ended up trading this just before gold moved with the idea of profiting from this precious metal stock. Overall, I'm quite happy with the performance here. Yes, there are some red stocks, but it's mostly the newer plays, and then the ones that we've been buying weeks in advance are now showing profitability and a decent performance. Like ENGN, very, very good. We did have a surprise yesterday with the HAIN cholesterol group. So if we look at HAIN here, we had a bit of a surprise there with that big sell-off. But we managed to sell around break even. I wasn't able to sell at its high. I wasn't watching my charts. I'm a swing trader, so I don't really sit by my charts during pre-market. But yeah, we had earnings and then a nice gain here all the way up to $2.9. Amazing. I thought that this was one of my levels to target. And then we had a big sell-off straight away with a loss of around 24% that day. But we sold around this 190, 180 level, around the kind of like break-even small loss level. And that's okay. These events kind of happen, so I'm not too worried. In terms of crypto, we can go now into the crypto analysis. Bitcoin still consolidating here. And as I mentioned yesterday, we are in a bearish, in a bull flag with potential to go back under here. And I am looking at support here around 13,000 or 14,000 for that move up higher. So far, so good. Where we are flat, and maybe going into the interest rate decision, we might start moving into the direction that we're going to move during the event itself or the day. So it's looking pretty good for a breakout, and I think, yeah, we can potentially get a breakout here, especially looking at the situation with stocks. But it could easily, just completely tank and sell here. So we're monitoring the situation. But nothing's really changed since yesterday. The price is kind of around the same. So if you go and watch the video yesterday, you'll see some of the other insights. The key here was the Bitcoin dominance, which is moving up higher, getting a bit of resistance here, so maybe we consolidate. But I can see this going up as high as 59 to 60. So we have to monitor carefully if that will lead into a deeper sell-off in the market. Ethereum, we've had a dip here. My worry is the dip ends up becoming a break under this level. And that would be very, very worrying for me. I will be exiting around break even on this one if it starts dipping further, and I can always re-enter. But it's looking pretty good so far, and I think depending on how much momentum we get today, tomorrow, we'll be able to see whether we're going to get that early momentum kicking in towards the buy side or the sell side. At the moment, I think the market is very cautious with riskier plays. They're going into larger caps, as you saw earlier. So Ethereum's here. The other charts, the weekly charts, the monthly charts, you can go and watch the video yesterday. Again, nothing's changed since yesterday, so I don't want to go repeating myself in every single video. But this is a situation where I see a dip, a buy up, and then a trend up higher. The next level is around 5,700. But we can also do about 5,100 here for a decent gain. Other plays are these ones. Because crypto wasn't doing so well yesterday, I ended up to not lose, essentially. That's the right word, right? Not to lose. To not lose as much as I to basically minimize risk around the break-even level here, because we have these bigger winners like AVAX, EIGN. Mana is also pretty good. So even if we dipped a little bit further, I had to sell some around break-even, like ENA and a few other ones that we ended up selling overnight. But we will be re-entering those, so it's not too big of a problem for me if we're selling some right now and then we'll buy again. It's looking like the market isn't going to decide until the event itself, so I'm willing to hold some of these that are looking stronger. At least I'm ahead of the curve, and then buy up new opportunities on the day or around the day or after the day, depending on when the market moves or decides to move overall. The worst case scenario for me is I probably, with all these ones, I probably end up having break even on this 2 to 3 week period, which is okay with me. I'm a swing trader. I can handle a break even or a small loss period. And then when we have the new serious trend developing, whether that's short or long, we will be in those trades again and then making 30-40% on spot trades like Ethereum and probably around 60% of these AVAX trades on the real trend when it develops. So that's the situation with crypto. So not too good, but overall it's not necessarily that negative either, because it's holding up. And I was expecting the volatility anyway. In terms of the rest of the market, we could cover that quickly as well. We have the dollar dropping, showing significant signs here for a double bottom. So we could take this out as a scenario. Double bottom, really bringing in some momentum here in the market, I think. This is the reason why the NASDAQ and the S&P is moving up higher. Maybe a double bottom. Or a lower low, but then that would be the worry. So a lower low here on price, And if we can get a higher low on the RSI, then we have a bullish divergence, and we can probably almost guarantee a crash in the market, or a mini drop in the market, retracement to some of the key levels like the 20 EMA or whatever other levels we might have on the charts. Okay, so that's the dollar looking pretty short here. I don't see any reason for this to move up higher, and then we also have the resistance to this trend line. Let's move on to gold. Gold, the best performing one here, and it's on the verge of hitting 3.7K. So I've been talking about that 3.7K level for a long time, and it could even extend as high as 3.8 before it gets any resistance. So it's looking very, very good on gold, and there's nothing to say here other than just enjoy it if you're in the trade, and if you're not in a trade, just wait for it to face some resistance and go short. There is too much momentum going into this, so it's gold and large caps doing really well. So in a way, we're actually seeing money flow into secure plays, or plays that are deemed more secure because they're less volatile. Okay, two other ideas that I had were US oil. So we had US oil, which I found nice here with a consolidation, a potential break up above. US oil trades, we have some opportunities with Oxy. For example, we like to trade Oxy in my community. That could be a good trade. We had the XOM, I think, which has been doing really well lately. That could potentially break out, and these are going to be probably longer term breakouts here and swings. Natural gas is also looking nice. Seasonality kicking in, and it's bouncing here for potential breakout above this level for a move around 43%. I might just trade natural gas CFD or contracts, and US oil contracts as well, rather than trading stocks. I'll just have to see how I feel on the day and whether there's any opportunities within those sectors to trade stocks. I'd prefer to trade stocks, but if I have to, I'll trade the contracts and futures. Elsewhere, we have nickel consolidating here, and I think it could easily break above this level for a move higher. So nickel is worth a watch. We have platinum or palladium, and we have, I think this has already moved, so not worth a watch. And we have platinum. Okay, that could be worth a watch here as well. Riding the trend of those momentum plays, the momentum in gold and silver. We have cattle here, also bouncing and moving up higher. Nice trending moves, clean moves here that you could trade. And then finally, we also have live cattle. I think this was feeder cattle, and then live cattle. So yeah, commodities are doing really well. I think commodities are performing pretty well. I think those are huge opportunities. And then silver as well moving up higher, but I don't see an entry opportunity here. I'm seeing them more in the livestock, platinum, nickel, US oil, and natural gas. So good opportunities there to trade. We had good performance or good movement in the French market. So CAC 40, the DAX was also doing pretty well, but then they're selling off at the moment because of the momentum kicking into US stocks. And then Japanese doing pretty well here as well. And Hong Kong, the Hang Seng index, kind of sitting around the same level for the last 3 days, waiting for their decision as well. Right, so that's it from me. If you guys enjoyed this content, please subscribe and follow me on social media. I create content on other social media platforms. I share my some ideas on X. I also share ideas and analysis on Instagram, TikTok. All the links are below in the description of this video. And also, if you're interested in looking at my watch list, looking at what I'm looking at every day, getting my market analysis in real time, getting my macro analysis in real time, getting one idea in stocks and one idea in crypto, go and join my Discord group. At the moment, it is just £5 a month for the first 100 members, and we've already got around 70 members who have joined, so there's only 30 spots left. Go and join that. There's nothing to lose there, really, and it's a taster of what I do with the markets and what I look at. And like I said to you guys, with stocks, I'm doing pretty well here, as you can see with my picks, performing quite strong. So that will be really where the value will be in. And also in crypto, when we have these strong trends, I'll be timing those and giving you guys some ideas as well. But every day there's new ideas and new watch lists and insights for you guys to enjoy. All right, that's it from me today. Take care. See you tomorrow.